Welcome to this episode of the She Scales podcast, where today I'm coming to you with one of these. As you know, I don't edit my podcast episodes. I don't do anything to them. Sometimes I prepare notes to bring you something like structured and valuable and very action orientated. And sometimes it's just a message from the heart. And this is what I want to bring today is a message for you to live your fucking life. Oh my God, I cannot underestimate this enough for you. I cannot underestimate this enough for you. You have to go live your fucking life. We'll get into the nuances of business, but just from a broader perspective, you have to live your fucking life. You cannot be putting the things off that are on your bucket list, or the things that you want to do, or the things that you'll do someday, one day. How, when, maybe someday. Stop waiting. Stop waiting for the perfect day. Stop waiting for the day when you've got more money. Stop waiting for the day when you've got more time. Stop waiting for the day when you've got more freedom. You don't know that you're going to get that other day. And not to pull the tone down, but you truly do not know when is your last day. So why do you wait? Why do you put things off, waiting for next year or 5 years or 10 years? Say, I'll do my bucket list when I'm older, or after whether I'm married, or after I bought the house, or after I've had the kids, or after the kids are older, or when they've moved out. Why is everything so far away? And why is it that oftentimes we see that people are given some form of terminal illness, some form of thing that is life ending before they truly start living their life? And whether it's someone that gets a diagnosis or something like that, and then all of a sudden when they realize that their days are numbered, that they want to go off and do all of these things and really live life. And oftentimes we see this in content, we see it on LinkedIn. So many times you're hearing advice from people that have already had that seemingly life is never endingness taken away from them, and they're giving advice to others of go live your life, laugh louder, love harder, live every day like it's your last. But why is it that so many people have to get to the point of their life has already to a certain extent been taken away from them, and it's been taken out of their hands? That decision is not theirs anymore before this live your fucking life becomes a priority. No. If I could reach through this tiny little mic and grab you by your collar and shake you and say, live your fucking life. You don't know how much longer you've got. You don't know when it's going to be your last day. And not to be morbid about it, but you truly don't. At the time of recording this, I'm in Bali. And so every morning when I go to the gym, I'm very reminded about how close to death I am every single day on these roads. But I think that that's why everyone is so much more present here. Everyone is awake, alert, and really freaking grateful. And it's because accidents happen all the time, things that are out of your control. And we see all the time. Sometimes something happens. You could have been going to the gym with someone and they're not here the next week. You could have gone to coffee with someone last month and then you're seeing a RIP post the next month. It's absolutely crazy. This is actually not where I thought this episode would be going, but I mean, we're here now. The reason why I wanted to share this isn't because of you could die at any moment, so go live. It's actually because so flash forwards, rewind backwards. So at the weekend, I was doing a CrossFit competition, and I want to give you some context here because context is always important. And I was one of the last rounds to go. And so I've been watching other people go. And to a certain extent, that helps me get ready. It doesn't make me super nervous because I can learn from what other people are doing. What did they do well? Where did they go too quick? Or where did they lose too much time? So I like not going fast. And so, yeah, it allows me to pace myself. But as it was getting closer to my round, and the last round had finished, and so this was changing over the weights ready for my round to start, And I think I heard on the buzzer, next round starts in 2 minutes. And so I am just getting myself fired up. My adrenaline, like my heart is going, adrenaline's racing. I'm probably stood there just like a little bit jittery. I was probably like jumping around on the spot a little bit, just like, ah. And at that moment, an idea dropped in out of nowhere. And it came to me, and I was like, no, because I didn't have the mental capacity to be thinking it was a business idea. But at that time, I'm in my sort of my Eminem moment of like, you've only got one shot, one chance, or like lose yourself song. And so my heart's racing. So this business idea had dropped in, and I'm like, I almost like mentally discard it, like not right now, push it to the side. Like I'm focused, let me lock in. But I must have glanced sideways to it mentally and been like, hang on a minute. That's a really freaking good idea. And also, why has that never come through for me before? And maybe it has, but just not in that way before, not with that level of clarity, not with that level of certainty. And it dropped through this time. And as much as I tried to push it to one side, because it was definitely not the right time for it to drop in, I couldn't help but think, oh, shit. That is 100% what I need to do. And so I quickly grabbed my phone. Thankfully, it was like near me. Grabbed my phone and sent myself a quick email so that I knew that it would be there for me once I'd finished my round. And I literally just emailed myself with 4 words. That's all it needed to be. Sent myself that email, dropped my phone down, and then it was time for my round to go. But in that moment, and thankfully, P.S. This is the bullet journal method, which I was learning about recently. One way to clear your head is you just need to write it down so that it's not in your working memory. When people say like, I'm overwhelmed and like my mind's just really busy. No, you've got too many things in your working memory. You're trying to process too many things at once. And so nothing is getting processed. But when you just write it down, I knew that I'd emailed it to myself, so I didn't need to be thinking about it. So it instantly left my brain so that I could focus on the task at hand and be fully present. And to be fair, I did completely forget about it until I went and checked my email later. And I was like, amazing, bang. And so when I got my laptop and then brought that idea to life. So there's a little bit about task management there. Get stuff out of your working memory so that you can be present, be in one time at one place at one time and be fully present. And still really bring that idea to life as and when is the right time for it, rather than trying to juggle 10 things at once. But also the bigger part of that is the fact that, go back to that moment, I was so focused on this thing right in front of me that this other thing dropped in that moment. Why is that? Because I wasn't thinking about business, I wasn't thinking about work, I wasn't in a work environment, I was nowhere near my laptop, and I wasn't actually on my phone. I was just looking at, I think, the rowing machine and the weights in front of me. And so this is why I wanted to share this, is because that's not the first time that a really good and really obvious, it's only obvious when after it lands, isn't it? But it's those moments that come in that it's such clarity, such like a light bulb moment that you're like, oh my God, how have I never seen this before? Those sorts of moments that have landed so hard they've practically slapped me in the face have only come to me when I'm nowhere near a screen. And so some of the best ones, so yes, that was definitely one on Saturday on the gym floor. Another one was I'd driven to Sanur, which is like the other side of the island. It's about 30 minutes away, but it's really nice beaches, quiet. It's not very touristy. It's kind of where the retirement folks want to come and have like their chilled beaches. So there's definitely an older crowd over there, and the pace of life is noticeably slower. It's dreamy. So not many young people go there. But if you just want chill, quiet beach, like there's not a lot of waves over there. I think there's a reef, so it's like really flat, still sea, and it's mainly just spas and quiet beach. Lovely. And so I had gone over there. I'd seen a facial being advertised on Insta, and so I drove over there, went for this like special offer facial. because this is going to be too much information, but anyway, when you're driving around on your moped, your skin can get quite clogged because of like all the smoke in the air. And so every now and again, I like to go for a nice facial, get it all clean, fresh, rejuvenated. And so when I'd seen that it was over in Sonora, I was like, oh, okay, well, I'll make a day trip out of it. Gone all the way over there, all the way over. It's only 30 minutes, but in Bali, that's far. And so gone over, had the facial, and it was way longer than I thought it was going to be. But I mean, what a great problem to have. We must have been about 2 hours into this facial, and no sign of stopping anytime soon. And she's like massaging my face and put all sorts of creams and potions and all this stuff on. It was amazing. 10 out of 10. And an idea landed for me as I'd been there. I'd basically gone off into like almost like a dream-like state. And an idea came through that I almost sat upright. Because I was like, oh my God, how have I not had this moment before? How have I had not this level of clarity? This thing that's so freaking obvious now that the idea has landed. And so after that, I drove to the beach. I took my notebook. I made loads of notes about it and let the idea like ruminate and really come through for me. And then went and had like such an action-taking weekend of bringing this idea to life. And I want to share these ideas because of each of these, the facial and the gym floor, some of my most groundbreaking ideas have come through when I'm nowhere near work mode. And so when people say to me, oh, like I'm really uninspired, or I really struggle to think of content ideas, or I haven't had any new ideas for a while, or I'm not sure what my new offer is, I know that they're not living their life. This is where I wanted to bring the episode to. We just went on a different different path to get there, by a little bit of don't die and a little bit of go get a facial. Lol, we love a plot twist. Live for the plot, main character energy. But also, on that, go book more cool shit. Like, your story is your main character energy story. If someone was reading a book of your life, is the book boring? And are you okay with that? If it's not an interesting read, it's no wonder you're uninspired. If you would look at the story of your life and be like, do you know what? I wouldn't even finish this book myself. What are you going to do about that? It's no wonder you don't have all this creative energy and that content doesn't flow out of you, and that you feel like your coaching hasn't expanded or that your business hasn't expanded because you're not inspired, you're not expanding. It has to come from you first. You cannot keep, especially if you're someone that like about the habits, you are consistent, you're posting daily, you're showing up daily, you're selling daily, you're serving your clients daily, you're doing all the things that you know are working and that you know are building your business, and that it is about consistency and compounding over time. But that if you're doing that from a place of your cup isn't full, then all you're doing is depleting your reserves, and you're basically just keeping yourself treading water because your head is only just about water because you're so busy just doing the do. And it's not even coming from a place of like magnetism. It's not coming from overflow. It's coming from I have to do this, so I am. And you can feel that in energy. When someone's just posting because they feel like they should be posting, when someone's just selling because they feel like they have to sell. And you can see it even when people are posting like their ballsy content or something that's got like more audacity or more fire. But it's coming from a place of my back is against the wall, so I'm shouting. Oh, this episode's about to take a turn. But do you feel this? Because I feel it. I 100% can feel the difference between someone who is confident in their conviction and grounded, and it's coming from a place of overflow, and that is magnetic. It's got this aura around it of just like, oh. So it doesn't need to be shouty because it's just so powerful in its quiet. Oh. Whereas some of the people who are wanting to be as loud as possible can actually come across the opposite, because they're trying so hard to turn up the volume that it's coming from a place of lack. We have taken a full turn on this, but trying to get back onto the main path. This is why I say, because if someone is really overly shouting, or if they're trying too hard in content and it's forced and it's not got this abundance energy about it, it's usually because they're not happy with something. Whether it's that they haven't yet reached a milestone that they want to reach, whether it's that they're not at a level of happiness or abundance that they want to be at. You can really, really tell when someone is in their overflow energy and it's coming from a place of giving, magnetism, groundedness. They're like expressing extra because they can, versus someone that is like pushing and shoving because they have to. We have got on a wild plot twist. So I'm going to come back in and wrap this up into a nice little bite-sized nugget for you. Without any mention of life could end tomorrow. Because truly, you would be more inspired, you would be more creative, you would be more energized if you lived your main character energy life. If you stopped putting things off, if you stopped waiting for the perfect time, if you stopped waiting to be ready for things, if you stopped waiting for other people to be ready for things, if you stopped waiting for your audience to be ready for things. What are you putting off? What are you waiting for? That actually, maybe you're thinking of something right now as I'm saying this. You're like, do you know what? I've been waiting to do that thing for ages. I've been waiting to launch that thing for ages. I've wanted to bring this out, but I haven't. I've been sat on this idea. Or maybe it's you're listening to this and you're like, do you know what? I have had a bit of like a lack of ideas. I haven't been feeling very creative. I haven't been really inspired for ages. I can't tell you the time where something just dropped in for me randomly out of the blue. This is your sign. This is your sign to go out and really go to new places, go find new people, get yourselves in new conversation, because it's that newness that stimulates your brain. If you're only going to the same places and the same environments and it's all known, your brain doesn't have to try. It doesn't even have to be awake, because your muscle memory can be awake for you. So your brain isn't activated. Whereas when you're doing something new, like at the weekend, I was doing something new, even though I was in a familiar place, the thing that I was about to do was new. And so I was like hyped up, energized, adrenaline going. The experience was new. And anytime, like often, this is why I love going for long drives at the weekend, is because I'm driving around, again, new environment. My brain isn't attached to anything. There's no familiarity. And so it's very active, it's very alert. And that's when new things drop through. So what is this for you? Where could you go that you've been wanting to go for ages? Who haven't you met up with for ages? That'd be really good to see. Maybe there is a new group of people that you've been wanting to introduce yourself to, whether it's a new hobby you want to take up, a new club you want to join. Maybe it's a new goal or challenge that you're going for. Get yourself out in the world. Go do the things. Go, what's on your bucket list? When was the last time you ticked something off your bucket list? I get such fulfillment of ticking things off my bucket list, because I'm not someone that's going to wait until I'm like 40, 50, 60, 70 to do the things I've always wanted to do. When you're old and grey, when, not if, given how the rest of this episode has been, when you're old and grey and you're looking back on your life, I promise you, the things that you will look back on the most favorably and with the most joy in your heart will be the things that you didn't put off, the things that you went for, the experiences that you just dive straight in, where you felt the fullest, You loved the hardest, you laughed the loudest, and you lived at the edge of your comfort zone. You did the things that you said you wanted to do. Because you might have seen these things circle in content before, but I've seen multiple things like this where the people who work in like old people's homes, if they're doing interviews with older folks who are like 80, 90, 100, and they're getting them to reminisce on their life, they often talk about all the things that they didn't do that they wish they had. Girls, no. I don't want that for you. Like, picture it now, your main character energy life, when you're 90 or 100, do you still get a letter off the Queen? Wait, King? Do you still get a letter off? Or will we even have royalty by the time we're 100? Anyway, but when this is you, and you're old and grey, on your own throne, when you look back on your life, what will be the moments, the standout moments that you go straight back to, and it brings such a smile to your face? And maybe there's some young person with you asking you to write your story down because they're going to turn it into a book. I love this plot line. When you're old and grey and you're writing down what your main character story is, what is it going to say? Don't let it be something where chapters 4 to 24 had nothing inside. Girl, don't wait to make life exciting. Make life exciting now. And then this is where all your content ideas will come from. This is where all your new creative, inspired, big energy, like your breakthrough moments, your inspiration moments, your lightning bolt moments, your slap me around the face, why don't you? Oh my God, how is that so obvious now, but it's only just dropped through? There's so much clarity, creativity, inspiration, and energy waiting for you on the other side of you living your life. Stop waiting. This episode has been a roller coaster. Welcome to my world. I tell you the things that you need to hear. As you know, sometimes tell you the things that you don't necessarily want to hear, but you need to hear. But we're going to have fun doing it. We're going to laugh along. So I hope that you've enjoyed this episode. I would go create some more value ones for the ones that are coming up soon. But in the meantime, if you laughed at this, if you were like, Sarah, please stop, let me know. Send me a message on Insta, on LinkedIn. I love when you guys enjoy the podcast. And also, if there's things that you want to see, specific topics, specific questions, let me know. I'm open to your ideas. In the meantime, I'm going to go creating what I feel called to create. So on that note, enjoy your week, enjoy the rest of your month, enjoy what is coming up as soon UK summertime. I know the clocks have gone back in America and they're going back soon in UK and Europe. Summer's on its way, guys. And as it gets a little bit further into that, that's the sign that I can come back. If there's no sun, you're not going to see Sarah. Sorry. Main character energy. So I shall see you inside the next episode, guys. I hope that you enjoyed this episode. Send me a message if you did, and I shall see you inside the next one. Toodaloo.